Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'm so glad you're here with me. Thank you for taking the time to learn English. It shows how dedicated and hardworking you are. Now let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt like you know a lot of grammar and vocabulary, but when it's time to speak, something feels a little unnatural? Don't worry, you're not alone. Many learners experience this. Here's a little secret. Fluency isn't just about knowing big words or complicated grammar rules. True fluency often comes from the small everyday expressions that native speakers use naturally, without even thinking about them. These short phrases are like the glue of conversation. They help everything flow smoothly and make you sound more relaxed and confident. So today, I'm excited to share with you 10 short phrases that you can start using right away. And I don't want you to just listen. I want you to practice with me. I'll give you examples. I'll ask you questions. And I'll even challenge you to make your own sentences. This way, you're not only learning, you're speaking with me as if we're having a real conversation. Are you ready? Great. Let's jump in together. 1. Hang on a second. All right. Let's begin with one of the most useful and friendly little phrases. Hang on a second. This is a very kind way to ask someone to wait for just a short moment. It feels much softer than simply saying, wait, which can sometimes sound impatient or even rude. Think of it this way. Hang on a second shows respect, and it makes the waiting sound natural and polite. My student, let me give you an example. Imagine you are on the phone, and someone asks about your schedule. You could say, hang on a second, I'll check my calendar. Or maybe you're about to go out, and you can't find your shoes. You could say, hang on a second, I just need to grab my shoes. Now, let's imagine this together. Suppose you're cooking dinner, and your friend calls you. Instead of saying, wait, which might sound too strong, you could say, hang on a second, I need to finish stirring the soup. Doesn't that sound warmer and friendlier? You can also use hold on a second, or even just hold on. They have the same meaning, but hang on often feels a little more casual and friendly. Now let's practice with some situations. Let's say a customer meets you in a shop and asks you a question. You are not sure of the answer. So you say, hang on a second. I'll ask my manager for you. See how polite and helpful that sounds? Or let's imagine you are chatting with a friend. They're telling you a funny story. And suddenly, you remember something. You could say, hang on a second. That reminds me of something hilarious. In this case, the phrase is used in a fun, excited way. And what if you are at school or work, and someone is speaking too quickly? You could say, hang on a second, let me write that down. That shows you are paying attention, but you need just a little time. Now it's your turn. Think of a time when someone asked you a question, but you weren't ready to answer right away. What could you say? Try practicing out loud. Hang on a second. I need to. And finish the sentence yourself. For example, hang on a second. I need to find a pen. Hang on a second. Let me check my bag. Great job. Do you notice how natural it sounds? This little phrase is so simple, but it makes your English friendly and fluent. So next time, instead of saying, wait, try hang on a second. You'll sound calm, polite, and confident. 2. Let's be honest. My student, let's move on to a phrase that makes your English sound real and sincere. Let's be honest. We use this when we want to introduce the truth, even if it's not perfect or a little uncomfortable. It helps you sound genuine, and it makes conversations feel more natural. Imagine this. You're talking about studying English. You could say, let's be honest, memorizing long word lists can feel boring sometimes. See how it softens your opinion? You're not being rude. You're just being truthful in a friendly way. Now, have you ever had something you don't really enjoy? Think about food, weather, or even a daily habit. Instead of sounding negative, you can make it natural with this phrase. For example, let's be honest. I'm not a big fan of rainy weather. This way, you share your real feelings, but in a way that sounds kind and open. Let's imagine another situation. You're with your classmates, and everyone is pretending they studied hard for a test. You might smile and say, let's be honest. Most of us only started studying last night. Do you see what happened here? Instead of accusing anyone, you included yourself, and you made the group laugh a little. Now, let's practice together. I'll give you a sentence starter, and you finish it. Let's be honest, I don't really enjoy... What could you say here? Maybe waking up early, or doing laundry. Your turn. What would you say? So remember, when you want to share a truth, but in a friendly way, let's be honest is your go-to phrase. It shows sincerity, warmth, and fluency. 3. I'd rather not. Sometimes, my student, you want to refuse politely. A simple no can feel too strong, but I'd rather not softens your answer and keeps the conversation respectful. For example, imagine a friend invites you to eat very spicy food. You don't like spicy food, but you also don't want to sound rude. You can say, I'd rather not, thank you. Spicy food is too strong for me. Now let's picture another moment. Your classmate says, let's stay out late tonight, but you have an exam tomorrow. Instead of saying no, you can smile and say, I'd rather not. I need to get some rest. Try this with me. If someone asks you to watch a scary movie, but you don't enjoy horror, what could you say? Maybe, I'd rather not. I get scared too easily. See? Very polite. Very natural. 4. I'm not sure. Here's a phrase that shows honesty without shutting down the conversation. I'm not sure. You don't always need to know everything. And sometimes admitting uncertainty is the best way to keep communication flowing. For example, a coworker asks, "Do you know when the meeting starts?" You could reply, "I'm not sure, but I can check." Notice how this invites more conversation. Or imagine you're asked about directions. Instead of guessing and giving wrong advice, you can simply say, "I'm not sure. Maybe you can ask someone at the information desk." Quick practice. What's something you don't fully know right now? Try saying it. "I'm not sure, but I'll find out." Doesn't that sound helpful and polite? 5. That makes sense. This phrase shows understanding and agreement. It tells the other person you are listening carefully. Picture this. Your teacher explains why practicing speaking is more important than only studying grammar. You can nod and say, "That makes sense." It shows respect for their explanation. Or imagine your friend explains why they couldn't come yesterday. If you reply with, "That makes sense," it shows you understand, and it builds trust. Your turn. Think of a time when someone gave you a reason or excuse. Instead of just saying, "Okay," try practicing, "Ah, that makes sense." 6. It depends. This is such a natural little phrase. We use it when the answer changes based on the situation. For example, if someone asks, "Do you like working from home?" you can answer, "It depends." If the internet is fast, I love it. But if it's slow, it's very stressful. Another one. Do you like traveling? It depends. I enjoy it with friends, but alone it feels boring. Try this. Pick a question in your head and answer with, "It depends." For example, do you like coffee? Maybe. It depends, only in the morning. See? Natural, flexible, and fluent. 7. Good for you. This is a short, cheerful way to celebrate someone's success. It makes you sound encouraging and supportive. Imagine your classmate says, "I passed the exam." You can smile and reply, "Good for you." Or your friend tells you, "I started going to the gym." Good for you. It's like giving them a small high five in words. Let's practice. If I tell you, "My student, I see you practicing English every day now," what would you answer to me? You'd say, "Good for you." Simple, positive, and friendly. 8. I can't wait. We use this when we are excited about something in the future. For example, your friend says, "The holidays are coming soon." You can reply, "I can't wait." It shows enthusiasm. Or imagine you're about to watch your favorite movie. You could say, "I can't wait to see it." Quick role play. I tell you, "We're going to the beach this weekend." What do you say? "Yes, I can't wait." This little phrase makes your English sound happy and alive. 9. What do you mean? This is a very helpful phrase to ask for clarification. It shows you are listening and want to understand better. Let's imagine a friend tells you, "That test was a piece of cake." You're not sure what they mean. You can ask, "What do you mean?" This way, you keep the conversation going, and you learn something new. Practice with me. If I say, "He finally spilled the beans," and you don't know the phrase, what would you ask? Correct. What do you mean? It's polite, useful, and keeps you engaged. 10. I guess so. This phrase is great when you agree a little, but not completely. It's softer than saying yes. For example, your friend says, "This movie is amazing, but you think it's only okay." You can reply, "I guess so." Or someone says, "You'll love this new restaurant." You can answer, "I guess so. Let's try it." Your turn. Think of something you don't feel strongly about. Try saying, "I guess so." Doesn't it sound natural? Final thoughts. My student, these 10 little phrases may seem small, but they are powerful. They make your English sound warm, natural, and fluent. So here's my challenge for you. Pick 3 of these phrases and use them in a real conversation today. More you practice them, the more natural they will feel. And remember, fluency isn't just about big words or perfect grammar. It's about sounding real,